fantastic job, so call the roll.
Thank you. Calling the roll, Mr. Shrine?
Here.
Ms. Conwell?
Here.
Mr. Jones?
Here.
Mr. Hairston?
Here.
Ms. Simon?
Here.
Mr. Greenspan? Mr. Greenspan is absent. Mr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Brady?
Here.
Mr. Germana?
Here.
Mr. Gallagher?
Here.
Ms. Connolly?
Here.
There is a quorum.
Madam President, make a motion to excuse Mr. Greenspan for cause.
Second.
All right, been moved and seconded to excuse Mr. Greenspan. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. His absence is marked excused. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For our silent meditation this evening, I'd like to reflect on all of the victims in Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, and the nation of gun violence. Moving on to item 5, public comment. Is there any public comment related to the agenda?
Yes, Madam Chair. Ms. Janice Ridgway?
Ms. Ridgway, come forward and you have 3 minutes.
Chair, Council, Director, staff, Jan Ridgway. Thank you. You showed me that too, and I didn't use it. I'm Jan Ridgway, Garden Valley Neighborhood House, and I am here to speak on behalf of Resolution 2014-0275, both to tell you why the importance of continuing this funding is needed, and also to share a little bit, to put a face to hunger for you. The Garden Valley Neighborhood House reopened its center about 4.5 years ago. I remember having about 17 people or 20 people coming each day. We seldom open now, and we open 3 days a week when we don't have at least anywhere between 150 and 200 families coming for food. That's just one food bank in Cuyahoga County. We were named the Food Bank of the Year in September for 2014. We distributed over 1.4 million pounds of food in 1 year. We served over 10,200 individuals a month, and the numbers continue to grow. For our Thanksgiving distribution on Saturday, we served over 600 families, not individuals, families, just on Saturday, and we had another distribution today. The need is real. I have a great-grandmother who's raising 15 grands and great-grands. She comes for food. I sat down yesterday for about 15 minutes with a grandmother who's raising her second set of grandchildren. She has custody of them. She needed food. When they leave the criminal justice system, our center is where they stop en route to home, wanting to know about food, wanting to know about housing, wanting to know about what other resources are out there for them. We have the highest number of children living in kinship care in Cleveland in Garden Valley Neighborhood House. Around the whole issue of food, you have a whole host of other issues that you cannot separate from hunger. Our goal is to eradicate that food line, and you cannot do it without education, you cannot do it without job training, and you cannot do it without jobs. We use that food pantry line as an entry to get people engaged in the process. Come in and help us pack. Come in and help us distribute. If your stomach is growling, you care less about GED, you care less about job training, you need to eat. That's core to everything that we do. And we look at hunger holistically. We have built 45 programs around that food pantry line. We offer construction training. 3 of our students went to the union this summer. Another 8 tested today for the union. One of our graduates made over $3 million last year, 3 projected $5 million this year. Everything we do is built around that food bank line, and it's done with all volunteers. We don't have a single paid person on our staff. I encourage you strongly to support Resolution 2014-0275. Thank you.
Ms. Ridgway. Anyone else signed in for public comment?
No, Madam Chair.
All right, item 6, approval of minutes. The minutes of November 12, 2014 for the Committee of the Whole, the minutes of November 12 for the regular meeting, and the minutes of November 17th, Committee of the Whole are in your packet. If you've had an opportunity to review those minutes, we can entertain a motion to adopt them as circulated.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Conwell and seconded by Mr. Schron. Any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. The minutes are adopted. First of all, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving on behalf of the entire county council. And then I also have an item that I'd like to mention that it's come to our attention that Metro Hospital is closing the Med Center at Asian Plaza. And this is of concern. Ms. Conwell and I have discussed it at length, as it is in her district. And I will be prepared to introduce a resolution at the next meeting co-sponsored by Ms. Conwell and Mr. Brady, requesting that Metro Hospital notify us within a period of time, probably 90 days, if they're going to close a facility. I think it would be a matter of courtesy, since we do, give them funding, that they could at least advise us of such a closing. This particular center handles a very, very specific population, and is of great concern that tomorrow they'll be closing their doors. So we'll be having that on the agenda for our next meeting. And that concludes my remarks. Mr. Fitzgerald, do you have any comments?
No, Madam President, except to say that your remarks about Metro and the communications and the communication that members of this government, whether it's executive or legislation, deserve from Metro is right on point, I think. So I commend you for that. That's all I have, Madam President.
Thank you. Legislation introduced by council, consideration of a resolution of council for first reading, adoption under suspension of the rules. We need a motion to suspend Rule 9D and 12A.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
By Mr. Gallagher and seconded by Mr. Germain. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The rules are suspended. Madam Clerk.
Resolution number 2014-0276, a resolution approving the expiration and retention of pending legislation in accordance with County Council Rule 11F and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Are you discuss, or I want me to discuss these are items that have been pending, and some are going to be, I think they're listed in your agenda. Some will be retained, and some will expire because of this legislation. I think everyone had an opportunity to comment on them. Mr. Miller?
I'll make a motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Mr. Schron. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. All right. B, consideration of
Did we adopt it, right?
yes, we adopt that. What?
Did we do the suspension? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did the suspension. Don't confuse me. Okay, B, consideration of resolution of council for first reading and referral to committee. I have Ms. Janine over there to keep me in check. Oh, we screw up. First item.
Resolution number 2014-0277, a resolution supporting the application for funding under the Clean Ohio Fund Green Space Conservation Program available through the Ohio Public Works Commission on behalf of West Creek Conservancy for the conservation of ecologically significant areas along the Baldwin Creek corridor and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
On this matter, go to Environment, Education, and Sustainability, Ms. Simon's committee.
Resolution number 2014-0278, a resolution supporting an application for funding under the Clean Ohio Fund Green Space Conservation Program available through the Ohio Public Works Commission on behalf of West Creek Conservancy for the conservation of ecologically significant areas along the West Creek Reservation, Phase 4, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Goes to Environment and Sustainability.
Resolution number 2014-0279, a resolution supporting an application for funding under the Clean Ohio Fund Green Space Conservation Program available through the Ohio Public Works Commission on behalf of City of Bedford Heights for the conservation of ecologically significant areas along the Solon Road Preserve and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Environment and sustainability.
Resolution number 2014-0280, a resolution supporting an application for funding under the Clean Ohio Fund Green Space Conservation Program available through the Ohio Public Works Commission on behalf of Tinkers Creek Watershed Partners for the conservation of ecologically significant areas along Bear Creek and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Environment and sustainability.
Resolution number 2014-0281, a resolution supporting an application for funding under the Clean Ohio Fund Green Space Conservation Program available through the Ohio Public Works Commission on behalf of Cuyahoga County Department of Public Works for the preservation and restoration of natural open space within Stage 3 of the Towpath Trail Extension in connection with the Tremont Point Preserve and Greenway Project and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Environment and sustainability.
And resolution number 2014-0282, a resolution supporting an application for funding under the Clean Ohio Fund Green Space Conservation Program available through the Ohio Public Works Commission on behalf of Western Land Conservancy for the conservation of ecologically significant areas along Lakeshore Boulevard in the village of Bracknell and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Environment and sustainability. So this will give Ms. Simon's committee something to do for the rest of the year. Committee report and consideration of a resolution of council for second reading adoption under suspension. These matters have been to committee. Most of them have some time urgency, so we're asking to suspend Rule 9D to waive the third reading.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rule.
Second.
Moved and second to suspend Rule 9D. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. Madam Clerk.
Resolution number 2014-0263, a resolution approving the Metro Health Systems policies and procedures to participate in one or more joint purchasing associations for the purpose of acquiring supplies, equipment, and services provided through joint purchasing arrangements in order to achieve beneficial purchasing arrangements for the year 2015 in accordance with Ohio Revised Code Section 339.05 and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Jones and seconded by Mr. Jemana. Mr. Jones, did you want to be heard?
And yes, Madam President, this is an annual agenda item that we see, and it allows Metro Health to purchase in bulk and be a part of a organization of hospitals, local hospitals, to again purchase items necessary for the operation of the hospital at reasonable cost. And I ask my colleagues to support this.
So in order to enter into this contract, it's required by the Ohio Revised Code that we approve it?
That is correct, annually. It's become rather routine, but it is required by the state law.
Okay. All right, any other questions? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. Consideration of an ordinance of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Ordinance number 2014-0036, an ordinance amending section 804.01 of the Cuyahoga County Code by adding a new section 804.01D to establish a post-secondary small business internship component to the educational assistance program and renumbering subsequent sections.
And this will go to education, environment, and sustainability. Next item, item E, committee reports and consideration of an ordinance of council for second reading.
Ordinance number 2014-0033, an ordinance amending Chapter 701 of the Cuyahoga County Code by adding Section 701.08 and 701.09 to establish guidelines for financial management of operations and a long-term financial plan for Cuyahoga County.
This matter will be moved to the agenda for December the 9th for third reading. Next is legislation introduced by the executive. Consideration of a resolution of council for a resolution for first reading adoption under suspension of the rules. Mr. Gallagher, if we need a motion to suspend Rule 9D and 12A.
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Gallagher and seconded by Mr. Jemana. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the ayes have it. The rules are suspended. Item 0283.
Resolution number 2014-0283, a resolution amending the 2014-2015 biennial operating budget for 2014 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations from the general fund and other funding sources for appropriation transfers between budget accounts and for cash transfers between budgetary funds in order to meet the budgetary needs of various county departments, offices, and agencies, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Well, let's, Mr. Schrein, same thing.
I'll second.
All right, moved by Mr. Schrein and seconded by Mr. Miller. And I understand that there is an amendment to this.
Yes, Madam Chair, I would like to move to delete items K and L. These items are the funding for the Huntington Park Garage and the pedestrian bridge. Those items are still under discussion, and I don't believe that we're ready yet to approve those appropriations.
All right, is there a second? Second. Seconded by Mr. Brady. All right, so it's, any discussion on the amendments? All right, all those in favor of the amendment indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The item is so amended. Is there any discussion on the other item, the original item as amended?
Madam Chair and my colleagues, it's primarily routine transfers and realignments. I'd like to bring a few items to attention. One is that there's $304,000 additional for children with medical handicaps. The need for this additional funding was discussed earlier last week during the budget process. There's also funding for $1 million for the second year for the Pay for Success program. And also, the general fund receives $4.2 million from IT in closing out the transfer from IT to become a general fund department. This is a one-time item, but it does help the general fund, and we'll take it. I ask for your support.
All right, any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor of the item as amended indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carries. All right, the next item is going to be item we're going to have to go into executive session for, but we also have to suspend the rules. So let's have a vote on the suspension of the rules. Do we need to read this first? Do everything? So let's just go into executive session. Okay.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, do you want to do that at the end?
Yeah, we
the
can do
meeting?
that after the executive session. Okay. Hold on a second. I got to get my script here. Okay, all meetings of the Cuyahoga County Council are open to the public under the Ohio Open Meetings Law. Under that law,
I think we're suggesting we do
No?
this.
I thought when we go into executive session at the end, we can do the vote at that point.
oh, I thought we were going to go to the executive session now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Then we
Okay.
need to suspend the rules and go through. Okay.
So wait, you telling me we should suspend the rules first, or then just do the executive session, then come back and suspend the rules? Let's go in executive session, we'll do it at the end. We'll do it when we come back. All right, all meetings of the Cuyahoga County Council are open to the public. Under the Ohio Open Meeting Law, under that law, council may go into executive session during the meeting for specifically authorized purposes. During executive session, council confers outside the hearing of the public. Council may not make any decisions about any matter in executive session. All decisions are made in public. This afternoon, council will go into executive session to discuss the collective bargaining matter. During this time, we will be meeting in the council committee room. Is there a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing collective bargaining matters?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Gallagher and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Calling the roll for executive session, Mr. Schrein,
Yes.
Ms. Conwell,
Yes.
Mr. Jones, Mr. Hairston,
Yes.
Ms. Simon, Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Brady,
Yes.
Mr. Germana,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher,
Yes.
Ms. Connolly.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, we'll be in the executive session for probably 15, 20 minutes.